you have a copy of that list?
Here's my thing on that is what we really need to do. I mean, yeah, we can look at leasing, but if we do get a confirmed release from the Army Corps,
We've already got that.
as much money as the city needs right now, I'm up for selling them rather than leasing. Because
Well,
they
that would be my
already show
thing.
interest in wanting them, so I know you're gonna get bids on them.
I mean, what good is it to lease it anyway? You're not gonna get
Yeah.
much revenue from it that way.
We
It's just
need
what you got
the
tax
money
base.
because, I mean, I can see by every time we get the statements and we're just starving for it.
Now, I understand, even if I buy it, there's still limitations on what you can do. You
Yeah,
still can't go back and
there
build down low, you have to build it up above the floodplain. If you do build,
There's
Which I don't-
rules to it.
I don't plan on building.
You cannot build a house on there for livable house.
right, I asked Mr. Flosi about a garage. I said, if I ever built anything, it'd be a garage. He said, well, you could do that, but you would still have to build it up above flood stage level.
Yeah.
Which that may never happen, but I own the property beside of it,
Yeah.
and I look at this every day. That's right, when I look out my front window, that's what I see. So that's why I've always maintained
It
it.
sounds like it's just sort of miscommunications.
It
What
was, I
went
thought,
on, and now that the rules have changed, now that it's been turned back over, we need to
I
find out.
told him that he should have come here and asked us about it.
That's true.
Because-
But, mistakes happen.
I mean, that's
And
just
now,
the
what
way
I-
on my part.
at
right?
one time, they would not release it until it was completed.
That's what I was
How
told.
long do you expect it to take to find out about the deeds?
Quick as we research.
I really think just let him do what he's doing
Well, I think council should make a motion to allow him
Yeah,
to
since
be
it's,
on there until.
until you find out.
I mean,
Now,
not being,
I'm prepared
not,
to put that motion forward, Judge, until you find out about
Say
the
it-
deeds,
say it
let
like
him
you want to
stay
say
as
it, so she
is.
can write it down.
And just whatever he's got, I don't have a picture, so I can't tell you what's sitting there. Whatever
He
he,
doesn't have anything that he can do.
no, there's nothing permanent.
the motion I make is to let him keep doing what he's doing, whatever's sitting there, until you find out firmly about the deeds, and what we do wrong and don't wrong. and Hopefully they'll take care of it.
Yeah, we've got a list of copies, I just have.
Is that- Is that, can I get a list of that property?
It's public record.
That's what I was, I lost for words there. If it is, I'd like to see which ones have been released and which ones have not.
And the only reason I say this is because, I mean, it could happen to any one of us.
Sure. And I'll admit, I was just being lazy, didn't come down, I mowed it, I just started parking on it.
Well, I appreciate at least they
It
took care
wasn't,
enough to
it
mow.
wasn't I was trying to be deceitful.
Well, see,
Just
we
be
had
lazy.
him out checking properties to see, if everybody, because the court binds us to, you can't put certain properties on, and you gotta make sure that they understand it does not belong to them, they still the city.
And we've been through
So
this
he
before.
went out and
Dave,
did some checking.
on several different properties
Yeah, I
years
know.
apart,
Yeah.
where people wanted to take care of it and actually thought they could actually
After a period of
build
time.
stuff on it,
yeah.
but we had to let them know that if they wanted to use it, I think it's one to keep it mowed and, shepherd.
Well, see, I done that. I just mowed it for a long time because they were still building that bridge. But then when they left with that bridge, the guy from the Corps told me, said, this will be the last, we're done with this problem. I didn't put anything on it until after that. And like I said, I knew that I would have, potentially, would have to move it at any time. So that's why I left it as permanent.
Yeah. Just,
Yes.
yes. Yes. And be prepared to, like if it does go, I don't know how it will, but if we do put it up for sale, it will go to that last bid.
Sure, I understand. There's no preferential treatment because
No,
of days of
because
property on it.
They usually come.
Is it sealed bid or open
It's
bid?
sealed bid.
Okay.
Anytime we do a seal, nobody sees it until the day we have a meeting and we open.
Of course, they release it, though, like, that most cities, and even Harlan does that, if it's next to you and you can take care of it, you get first option.
But is that a legal way to do it, or is that just kind of the
I don't know.
way they do it? I mean, I would like that, but I don't know if that's legal.
I'll talk to Bob about it and see.
But from what I gather, you own most of the properties around it. I think you'd rather own it than.
I would much rather own it than lease it,
You wouldn't have any.
Because if I leased it, if I did want to build a garage, I could. mean, that wouldn't make sense. And it does really, from the city standpoint, to me, it doesn't make sense to lease it because all you're getting is a little bit of lease money. You're not getting any tax-based money from it.
For us,
Or
for
to
me,
sell the
it's all
property.
about getting rid of, there's certain back alleys and stuff we want to.
Now there is, and if you tell me to move it, I'd have to move it. There's a swing set on there too. The swing set was in my
I
yard.
haven't seen pictures of it.
I'll bring them to you if you'd like, or if you're by the store, I'll take you up there and show you. I had a swing set in my yard. It was my grandson's, and he was the only one that used it because we've got a fenced-in yard, and I've got dogs, so the kids didn't want to come in the yard. I moved it over there, and now Pee Wee's grandson, when they babysit, he uses it. The guy that rents the other house that I own, that boy works for me. If you know him, Justin.
Yeah.
He's got kids, they'll use it, so I just moved the swing set over there. But, if that's a liability issue or anything, if I had to move it, I'd move it.
Tony was up there and he didn't tell you everything special.
No, he said everything was fine, nothing was permanent.
Well, I didn't see anything.
But that would be the only thing that,
If there was a safety issue,
Well, it'll
surely
be in the minutes that
one
you've
of
got
us-
permission to utilize it.
okay, if something comes up and, insurance or lawyer says, hey, that's liability to the city, we gotta move it, I'll just move the swing set.
If anything would be a liability, I would think it's the swing set probably.
I would think so
be.
too.
Yeah,
And
just
it might
worse.
come against you and us both, too,
Right.
on that part, so.
Nobody, now there's not
See,
neighborhood
that's
kids
one
coming to
thing
use
about
it.
having a lease, like a temporary lease, is it says that you won't hold the core of the city.
But same thing with Southern,
Under any
once you get it out of your name,
We're done.
it's whatever the law states you can do with is what you have to follow.
However you all work it out, leasing or selling, I would be interested. But I just wanna make sure it's okay to leave it there until you make a decision.
I would definitely check back month to month, how it goes, who she finds out. When you find out, you may contact them and let them know what you found out about the
I
dates.
can check it.
Then we'll have to put it up, whatever we do, lease or bid, it'll have to be advertised.
But I would like to get a list of what properties have been released,
Come by,
just to see.
just come by.
And then, unrelated, but have you heard anything about that house of Larry Wars? What's gonna be done with it?
No deterrent.
Well, that's what you told me, but I mean, have you got any kind of dates, have they said anything? See, we've got another house.
No, we've got people that's got they're changing positions down there just like
And we've got another house right on the corner of that, of Bridge Street and Fairchild, that Larry Warfield did, that the Corps bought. He's moved away months ago. And now, to be honest, the boy that rents off me is cutting that grass just because it's all growing up.
I'm not sure where that's at.
I'd have to show you, when you cross the bridge, instead of turning left to Carolyn, if you were to turn right, it's the first house on the left. You can tell
Little
it's,
brick house,
it's half brick, yeah.
half brick.
Yeah, the one on the right's the one that Oscar used to live in that I bought, maintained. This one, you can tell nobody lives there. But that's another piece of core property right now, and they're not even gonna use that. They'll probably turn it over to the city as soon as they tear it down. But it's just, it's just an eyesore right now.
We've got a bunch
I cut a
of
bunch of bushes because you couldn't see around the corner. Them kids ride the golf carts, and that's the reason I cut all them bushes down. You can't see when you pull up there. Golf carts coming around, you couldn't see them pull out, so I just cut a bunch of the shrub down so you could see.
Well, hopefully we'll get it straightened out soon.
I don't know if they
And we
have.
should appreciate you, all the press coverage.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you gotta look at it, you don't wanna leave it.
I hope that answers
And this agreement or whatever will be in writing, I can get a copy.
It'll
of
be
it.
in the minutes.
It's
That's
in the
all I
minutes.
need to do is get a copy of the minutes if I warrant it.
you. Yes, you can get a copy of it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tracy's here now, so we'll just say Tracy will give him the rest of
She said you can go.
Speaking of the core property, what David was just talking about, I know, Carolyn, when you were at one of the meetings that we had for Trail Town or Main Street, I can't remember, you said something about that property that they had up here where the Tri-City News used to be, and they did core samples on that.
They do, of course.
Is all that released yet to start cleaning up on?
I would say that way. Right now, we're gonna build a bridge, and I got some plans, because they're gonna come and send it from, I don't know how far the plans is gonna go from the bridge, because the bridge.
There'll be a two-lane bridge this time, but
Yeah.
so it'll naturally take up more
Yeah,
space. It's
Instead of
not telling where
going
to be located.
straight, it's gonna go this way. Yeah. So I can let you know as quick as I can.
What about where the where the old Tri-City News building will be on that side, on the upper
Well,
side?
they may be doing some work there, because I showed them all that pad.
I think the retaining wall had
Pictures
probably,
and stuff like that, and we're trying to incorporate clean down on that, down through there too.
Okay.
that retaining wall that's there, Tracy, where the building used to stand, had some damage in the flood. I'm assuming that'll, when they fix that
Oh,
bridge,
it's yard walk over there.
it's about dangerous to.
We did look at that, when that lady from, yeah, she has that company, that Debbie Spencer, she came up and looked at that property when we were talking about putting the trailhead in that particular area, and looked at it, it was bad then.
Yeah.
So I was concerned about that, and we had a lot of stuff coming up in September, and I know you talked about the weeds and stuff growing up on
Yeah, now
it.
the bridge is supposed to be next, and they're supposed to be over, so we gotta be cleaning up there.
So should we go, well,
Well, you can wait a week.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, we can, no, that's not a problem.
I'm
Until they
assuming
come
they
out.
already have blueprints of some sort of the bridge and how to be laid out.
No, they had some, but he told me that they had done some revisions.
I know Vaughn and Milton signed some paperwork that I talked to them.
Is it Vaughn and Milton that's gonna be over that project? Okay, well, that's a good thing. Oh, and some of that I'll talk about on in here, I guess I better wait on that, but,
I'm just going.
well, what we had done in September, which we're gonna continue, I know there've been some questions about our bike night, and we held that, I think the fourth Friday or fourth Saturday in July, and we had a pretty good turnout for it. Our bike committee has wanted to add, cars and trucks to that now, that will be a cruise in to bike night. So they're gonna line the bikes up on one side and the old cars and trucks, or new cars and trucks, however they wanna do it, on the other side. And they're hoping that that will bring more people, more participants, and more visitors out to look, at what
Where
they
would they
have.
park it?
It'll just be up and down that, it'll still be on that main street. Nothing will change as far as the venue or the location, but it'll just be different.
I'm concerned on that one end is.
And we don't go down-
Old Maynard's buildings.
Where is it?
Don't really want anybody close to that thing.
So,
Well, I got a text message on it while I was at the beach, so I was on
so you
vacation.
know what I'm talking about?
Yes, we do, and
Are you good?
we established an encroachment permit back in May through September of this year for that property there on Main Street, and our bikers don't pay to participate. And I've always been informed through the tourism industry that unless you pay to participate in an event like that, then you're really not liable for anything that happens to them, because they're there by will. So we've not been notified anything different. It was in the paper, I don't know if y'all saw that they required Whitesburg Bike Night to obtain like $3 million worth of insurance, liability insurance.
No, I haven't seen it.
And Susie called
Is
and
that what they're
checked while I
doing
was
for
on
us?
vacation, and they've not stated anything different to us. So, until
Is it
notified.
because of the highway or something?
I'm not sure. I think there were some different issues over there. And like I said, they were doing burnouts and some different things that might cause liability issues, and I think people were paying to do that. So it was a little bit different than what we host. And so those things, hopefully everything will stay the same on that. So, now September will be a busy month, guys. We are coming up on the 9th and 10th. We will be hosting a portion of the Kentucky Association of Conventioner and Visitors Bureau. That is a mouthful, but that is Kentucky tourism directors from all over the state of Kentucky. And Harlan Tourism and Air Tourism will be hosting that. We will be taking, I think on the 9th and 10th, we'll be taking them to Portal 31, Cumberland Museum, and having some entertainment for them as well. So we want to show them Southern hospitality, of course. And our trial run for Trail Town will also take place that weekend. That will take place Friday, Saturday, and
When you
Sunday.
say trail run for Trail Town, what are you?
We have met with the Adventure Tourism Director all day about this process and what it is. Well, by that time, you will begin to see some of these things come into place, which is why I was asking you about that property, because we obtained a grant for $10,000 that would put kiosks in Benham, Lynch, and Cumberland. The one at Lynch will be up next to the depot, or the coffee house, in that location. Yeah, that will be in Lynch. The one in Benham will be down behind City Hall in that park. And there's bathrooms located close to each establishment, so that would be good. And then down here in Cumberland, we're having an issue finding the right piece of property, that city property, you know, that we could have
I know
taken.
before you mentioned the Dry City spot, but until they get that bridge done.
I can probably come and find out.
Yeah.
And what it is, I have a copy of what that kiosk looks like, if y'all want to look at it real quick. It's just like a 2x4 little shelter. It's got the awnings over it, and then in the middle of it, it's going to have your mapping and different things, and where each trail will start, and potential trails to come, what we plan to have, blah, blah, blah. A lot of that will be temporary for a while until they release that MOA from that $829,000. And then once all that comes into place, we'll be able to add to what we've done, you know, make it nicer. And
There's like, insurance-wise, anyone that follows on these trails or maintains these trails or security, who does that?
we've obtained all the easements for all of those. And so where it's through the county, state, and I don't know how each one of those properties would fall, but like the trail that's going to come down from Sawmill Holler into town that will connect it up to the Kingdom Come State Park, some of that will go through SAG's property. And SAG came back and signed an easement, and after they signed the first one, they said, well, we're just going to give you the easement for life. You know, they were good with that. And they too have been working with Vaughn and Melton. So Vaughn and Melton did that feasibility study for us, and they're aware of almost everything potentially in the Tri-City area that could be done. So
They've got the money start on there,
yeah, that's why I was asking, because the money's sitting there waiting, and they're already starting on the other two kiosks, hopefully this week.
Tracy, is there any way that we can get a monthly report from the tourism on how you spend the monies, reports of the financial statement?
I can actually bring you a financial
I
statement.
would love that, because, you know,
Well,
a
it'll
lot
show
of these
up.
things we miss and we forget, and if we put it on paper, we can see, hey, this is what we have.
That way we can see the $1 million worth of work they're getting ready.
Now, we won't be taking care of that money from. That will all be funded through the fiscal court. So
That means having
that $829,000 grant was actually written, I think, with the city of Lynch being the governmental agency that did the grant, or produced the grant. But when it was all turned over and that was done, it will come through the fiscal court.
Let me ask you,
Fiscal court will be responsible for that money, and what we will do is we will assign a engineering company that will come in and design and construct those trails. And
what are they
then
gonna do with those trails? I guess that's what the money's for. What will they
It
do? Are
is.
they blacktopping them or?
no. This will all be for non-motorized accessibility.
Because
And
the gravel's already there, I'm just wondering what they have to do.
well, now not this one. It won't include the one that goes through Williamson-Chief. It wasn't written for that. It was really written to connect the one going up through Sawmill Holler and on into Putney, on into Kingdom Come, into the city of Cumberland. And then there was a portion of it that will connect into the city of Lynch. And a campground up there that they have plans for potentially, which is why I guess it was written the city built, to my knowledge. That's what the mayor stated, that's what they were doing. It was for revenue for the city. So,
That'll be interesting.
yeah, but as far as that money, Vaughn, I mean, I can either get you a budget of what we budget each year, or I could bring you when I come.
I've always wanted to see that.
Yeah.
How the tourism works and the budget and thing.
Or do you need monthly statements, or do you need the
I
annual?
believe it'd be good for the council, and that way we can get right on board with it.
I mean, it's just a part of, we're definitely gonna have more and more contact as all this
Right.
comes together, so.
And one of the, I called it a good problem that we had, when we're talking about having this trial run on the 18th, 19th, and 20th, we're also hosting the Black Mountain Madness Ride to the Summit, which is what we do every year through the tourism office. So we've got bikers now that are sending me messages saying, we have no place to stay, the Ben Men's full, where's other contacts that we can stay? Well, they were having a faith-based convention that whole week, and the inn was, every room was taken. So I called and I said, this is a good problem that we have, but are you all really booked, you know, the whole week? And they are. So we gave them all of our bed and breakfast information. Of course, Plaza, I gave them that information. Putney Trailhead, or the Putney Campground, they have cabins and stuff.
Who knows, may end up,
Huh?
the Cumberland Motel may end up back up and running one day.
That'd be a nice
If
thing to see.
if you build up enough visitors.
Right, and that's what we're hoping for eventually, but we've got a lot to do before that trial run. After we met with her today, the list continues to grow, so those kiosks, getting those up is we have to get those up and up and running. What else was there? Beautification, of course, we're gonna have to make sure everything looks as good as it can, because you don't want all those people, you know, coming in at night.
As far as leveling out and stuff, that would be good.
At that news place. I don't know if there was a lot of leveling really that needed to be
Set two
done.
posts in the ground and put the top on it, bulletin board and it's
So
done.
you're not gonna worry about everybody else.
No, we could level it. I mean, you know, as long as it looks neat and nice, I mean, you want it to look as neat and nice as it possibly can. And, you know, later on with that money that was got for those grants, some stuff can be added to those as well, like, I think benches. And they're supposed to come in and sit down with us next week, from that agency. And they're waiting on the MOA right now from the federal government. Of course, they checked on it last week while I was gone, and they were expecting to hear something back from them any day. So they're gonna come in and we're gonna detail out exactly what you asked me, what will be done, you know, with that money. And I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure that Dan will try to be there, you know, for that, him or Ryan one, because Ryan's been attending the meetings where he's the treasurer, and he'll be taking care of that. So, but yes, through that what they do too is the state tourism, where we're going to host an event, and then they'll also be hosting an event from Creekside Glen for the horseback side of that, and they'll be doing a horseback ride with the trail that they have that goes actually, and I don't know exactly how it goes because I don't horseback ride, but it goes over into the city of Lynch and comes out where that campground is that they want to acquire. And they took some horses down to where the Lamp House Coffee shop is now, and they've already been riding that. So they're going to do a horse ride that will consist of horseback riders from wherever, and they'll be sending out invitations from the state to like the canoeing groups, the hiking groups, the bicycle groups, the horseback ride, all those things.
We don't have the horseback riding that come through Cumberland.
No,
Yeah.
no. That will consist when the Scotia line opens up and they start getting the easement taken care of for that, because there's, I think they've got, not that I'm aware of, not that unless they did last week and I wasn't informed of it. So, I do know that they're working with some different landowners, and so far so good. We've been very fortunate because other counties or cities haven't been as lucky when it comes to that, which has been an issue, don't get me wrong, but it's been something that we've been able to either go around or, you know, overcome. And they will be starting to continue grabbing on, like past the tricycle thing, on that rail bed, you know what I'm talking about? They'll start probably on that in the next couple of weeks. So, because we obtained the easement down here to the Y, up here to the Y, and back up that way, on Watt Peak Corner. So, he sent that letter and all the documentation for that last week. So, we are making progress slowly but surely. Anybody has any questions?
I have a few questions. Ms. Gilliam brought up wanting financial statements for budget information. I talked to Laura Ross at the League of Cities and Chris Johnson at the League of Cities. Can you tell me the process that you all get your money each month? Does it come to the city, then the city writes you a check, or does the city give you the check to you?
No, through the tax collection of the restaurant. See, we get a 3% tax collection from each hotel, bed and breakfast, and restaurant, okay? So then they send their checks here to City Hall, and then City Hall in turn, we pick them up. We get a collection fee to the city, okay? There's a collection fee that goes to the city for collecting those fees for us, and that's the same way that Carolyn does it as well, is what we do.
Okay, well,
But now that is our form of revenue.
Okay, I realize that's your form of revenue, but according to the KRS, the city's required by law to include the Tourist Commission in its budget. So the Tourism Commission's supposed to be included in our budget each year. And then the Tourism Commission then requests money from the city for its operating expenses, which can be found in KRS Chapter 91A.350 through KRS 91A.400.
What do you mean added into the budget?
It says funding, number 6. Annually, the TCC must submit to the local governing body or bodies that established it a request for funds for the operation of the TCC. The Cumberland City Council established this. The local governing body must include the TCC in its annual budget and must impose a transit room tax to provide funding. And we also impose the restaurant tax, which follows the same. I'm on page 3 of 5, which is the 4th page.
You have to start putting the tourism into our budget.
That was my understanding. I forwarded these emails to Ms. Davenport, which is why I wanted to know she was going to be here to look over. And it was my understanding that it was done correctly until around 2003, 2004.
I have no idea, David.
I mean, I realize it's always been done this way when you've been here, but
And the ordinance that the city did may make a difference in that when they first established the tourism, and I have a copy of all that documentation back to when they formed the tourism commission, because I know that we just used that for a different situation. So I have a copy of all that. I mean, if she needs it, if she needs to look, or if you all need
You
to
got a
look.
copy of the ordinance?
When it was
Well,
first
the
established by
city
the city of
ordinance.
Cumberland.
a city ordinance wouldn't supersede a KRS.
Well, it wouldn't supersede it, but I don't know what we would be doing, I don't know why
We might
Cumberland
be
and
doing
Carolyn
wrong
would
all
be
these
doing
years. I will bet you.
the same thing and it'd be wrong. And each tourism commission across the state, because as far as I know, they all operate in the same manner. Now, I don't know of a tourism, unless you don't have a commission, unless you don't have a director or an office. And the county may, like Letcher County is different. They have a director. They do get,
See, I mean,
Same kind of
it
money.
has to be in the separate account just for tourism.
But now we
then
have-
it says the city with the advice and consent of the TCC, which is the Tourism Commission, decides how much of the room tax procedure to be used for facilities, and then the rest is used for creating and promoting convention and tourist activities and facilities as required by statute. If you have a restaurant tax, that money must be turned over to the TCC. If the TCC borrows money, the city must approve it.
I know there is an ordinance for 3%.
and there is guidelines for what can be used for that money. You know, we can't go into somebody's private property and like the Rotary Park issue we had once before, it was a private entity because the Rotary Club owned that piece of property, it wasn't city.
Oh, it's
Still
definitely,
private.
it's more of a private entity.
Right, but they were wanting us to go in and put playground equipment on it. Well, through our guidelines through tourism, we can't do that. And you know, we have to stand accountable for that because now where you got SPGE, all that through the Attorney General's office, and it's all transparent, you know, our budget is actually put on there. And it shows exactly what's done with their money. So if you or anybody wants to go into that SPGE website, you can see what we accounted for last year on the budget. And that's the way across the board with all the fire departments, small, anything.
Maybe we should have Ms. Davenport look at it.
I'll have Ms. Davenport and Audra too.
To make sure we haven't been doing it wrong and to get it right wherever.
Right. And then if there is an issue, we have a board meeting on Tuesday of next week. I mean, that can be addressed with the board because,
Last thing you need is to get all this started and then not have something in the right order that makes you have to start.
I really don't have any doubts that we've been doing it wrong. I mean, they're very, doing it right. Yeah, I don't have any idea we're doing it wrong.
Change it,
We
Tracy.
know we're doing it. I mean, I
Right.
believe that it's been done right. I don't know what you're getting or how that proceeds in different situations, but I believe what we've been doing is right. And I know that we
It's
run
just
in
my
the same manner as the
concern
city of Harlan.
My concern is from reading the statute and talking with Ms. Ross at the Cities, is that the city council should be approving your budget.
Well, now, we send a copy, we've always sent a copy to the city
I've been
budget.
on the city council for going on 5 years now, I've never seen a copy.
No, I haven't either.
We're not.
I always send it up there, guys, and I send it to
Hey,
the
I'm not sorry.
fiscal court, you didn't get one last year? Well, now, when they put that SPGE through, they said it wasn't required, because I called Ryan Creech down at the fiscal court, because we always give one to them as well. And he said now that that's all public record, and it's all applied into that system, we don't have to give them one as well, but I mean, I can, and I can go back and get
I
you
just have
what we
concerns
need.
because, I mean, I obviously read the newspaper and I see where your board is wanting our clerk to collect your restaurant tax. I don't feel like she should collect
But
your
we
restaurant.
pay you all to collect it. Each quarter, you get a check, and we pay you. That's what makes it legal to do that.
See, I've never been told that.
It should be in your stuff.
What would it show
Should
up
be
as,
added.
Tracy, whenever it comes up on the report? I've probably seen it, I just don't remember.
We keep it under our financial report as a tax collection fee to the city.
For restaurant tax?
Yeah, for collecting the restaurant and hotels and restaurants. So for years, I mean, as long.
See, I've never seen a list of restaurant tax or hotel tax or anything.
Well, you wouldn't see who gives what, because that you can't see, because that's not public knowledge. And I don't look at orange for that, or neither. Neither does Carolyn. So that is, but you could say that there are 10 restaurants, you know, and what I do is I put the amounts down there and we erase the names to my board. I mean, we show what, whoever, Joe Blow or Pizza Hut or Hardy or whatever they turn in, I turn that into the board. You know, those amounts, but I don't put a name next to
I'm not asking to see
it.
any of that, but we got pretty detailed over the past few years over things that were confidential and weren't confidential and whatnot. There's basically anything to do with the city, there's nothing it's all public record. Even right down to names is public record. Property taxes, bills, delinquencies. But I'm not saying that I'm
Right.
asking for none of that.
Right.
I'm just telling you how the law has been interpreted.
But now, as far as knowing, like, you receive $10,000 from your restaurant taxes in that month or whatever, I mean, it's in mine, I know.
Right.
And on our financial, see, we pay that quarterly to the city. It's a quarterly tax every 3 months. So, every 3 months,
So what we do,
And there's a
we pay
formula
you
for
on a
that.
monthly basis, you pay us.
Well,
term.
no, they pay their own salaries. They send the money up here.
I'm
We're
talking
just-
about not the
we're
money
just
that we,
around.
I'm talking about the checks they picked up once a month.
we are an entity of the city, people, is the easiest way I can explain this. We are not a city, we are an entity of the city. We were established, you have to have the council to approve and have an ordinance and all those things when you start a tourist commission, or a county, however you do it. The KRS, we go by 91, whatever that is, 358. And there's another one that I don't have my book with me, but I could show you all those KRSs that we apply to, and how our board members were chosen, how many go for the hoteliers, how many go for the restaurants, how many's appointed from the Chamber of Commerce, how many's appointed from the mayor, you know, mayor's position.
How are the positions chosen, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, and it tells through all of this, and I don't have my glasses on, so I don't ask me to read that.
They have terms just like.
So we
They're all
basically
supposed to
need
be
a copy of our
staggered.
ordinance, and we need to,
No, well, we've got those in city hall.
and we need to, probably get a monthly report, so we can keep in knowledge of this.
Well, that's why the board asked me to start coming and reporting in the first place, but I mean, if a financial
For one thing,
report
more
would
and
be
more
great.
things are happening
Right.
now than they ever were.
And we wanted to make sure that everybody stayed on the same page and the communication was flowing, because, you know, some of the stuff Carolyn, when she came to me, she had no clue, you know, and that wasn't her fault and it wasn't mine. We just didn't realize that the other one didn't know it, I guess.
Well, people just have been talking.
That's the way it works with the council. If we don't
Right.
know, then when we get asked questions, we don't know.
Right, and that's why I try to come and tell you all, you know, we're gonna have bike night this night and this night, and this is gonna be taking place.
You guys are coming and making these, tell us about what's going on, how much money is going, it's as we vote, and we don't really know what we're voting on, we don't see it, and it's good to see like on paper.
It
It's good to
is.
keep a record of this stuff, and yeah, I would love to get a month.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be great, that'd help me.
That's perfect, yeah. And that's all public record thing. I mean, there's, you know, those truth commission meetings are not private. They're open to the public, anybody, you know, and council and Main
Tell
Street as
everybody
well.
when you have a meeting.
And we have them, it's the third Tuesday of every month at noon, and it's at our office, it's there in the back. So, you know, we would love to have anybody that would like to attend that. And
What time does it usually start?
so,
12. That's probably some people can't, or a good time.
and they just started, I mean,
That's when the board members can get there, that's what this is time.
that's, I guess why they just.
I can't make it a lot of
decide.
times because time of day.
It's like fiscal court meeting, they have it at 10 o'clock. And I'm like, it's hard for me to get there, and that's if I'm going to present something for tourism, but I don't know, that's just, I hate to say that's the way it's been. That isn't the way it has to stay, but it's the way it's been since I've been there, and I've been there since '08, so all these things haven't changed. Anyway, check with that, and if there's any questions, just Tuesday, you know, more than welcome. All right. Any more questions?
Very informative.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
So okay, we got the minutes. Next we got approval or discussion of June the 9th. Anybody have any questions or corrections on the June the 9th minutes? You all got the correction, the copy of the correction ones that you already approved.
I make a motion to approve the June 9th minutes as stated.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes. June the 23rd, we got a special town meeting.
I'd like to see these minutes more detailed. We were down there for about 3 hours. I'd like to see more detail.
Kind of detail that you like to
You know, I mean, there was more than just Mr. Scott that talked, and he talked. Mr. Scott's the only one that's mentioned, so like some things that other people mentioned. One thing specifically, I know it was talked about, we need to hold engineering firms accountable. I would like to see more of that discussion in there.
That doesn't need to go in there more, it's where we talked about making sure that contractors,
I'll make a motion to table the June 23rd minutes for more details.
On the June 23rd, it doesn't have the absent, I already had that on.
she was absent.
It doesn't have the listed anyway, okay.
Either way,
Yeah.
That's what I guess.
And it also doesn't have who read the budgeting. Well, I'll make a motion to table those until the corrections and more details.
That's June 23rd.
Teresa seconded that.
This is the lowest.
Next one, just for information purposes, show somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We'll do all in favor.
All in favor, say aye. Nays? Motion carries. Financial report, April, these are the ones that we held because we ran out of time on those towers.
Yeah, I remember that.
April 2015 increase.
Cumberland County garbage shows 0. Okay. Right under the $105 for fire subsidy.
That's because where it has, it goes into water, we talk from the water card, you'll see it over on the water report, and so it's not in general fund yet, and then when you see, like, transfer or something from water into general fund, we'll have on there for, water and garbage. Because all of it has to go into the water account first, and then the garbage and fire is put over into the account.
Water and sewer for period ending April 30th, it has the bank charge, which we have every month. But then that's got BB&T Bank and it's got charges coming out of water and sewer. Is that BB&T credit card?
I thought we just have one card that come out from administration. It's supposed to be.
Well, I remember asking any time we use that card to get an itemized statement. I know we've just got one credit card.
Yeah.
I mean, is that from that card or is that some
That
other
card
charge?
is always
Yeah,
linked
it's
to,
on that card.
yeah, it's always the water card. It's always, that's what it's got.
Because we have to order from,
There are cards from USA Today, and you'll see a charge on this one as I ordered the same.
Just say, this rule book is $43,000 here.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, sometimes it may not, it may have been ordered without the credit card number given, so we have to pay tax on it.
so I go back to the thing which I'm pulling minutes here. It was either January, February. I asked any time that card was used to get the itemized statement. It's not in, and the gas statement's not in here either that we made a motion to pass to get.
Well, the guys has been on here, is now itemized according to the departments here.
I mean, it is itemized per department, but I'm still not seeing what I asked for. And what this council asked for.
I suggest we hold all of these until the next meeting.
Why are we gonna hold them? The bills have been paid.
I know, it's true, but you just said you could.
I don't have, they might approve them. I said I'm one piece of this pie, is what my lawyer used to say.
I will be more than happy to supply with that next week.
The gas logs and, what was the bank
We just
card?
have to call them.
The bank card statement?
That card is always used for the water department. It's something about the water department. And, yeah, Teresa can do it.
I mean, or you could list the BB&T Bank and then put $69 for this, $25 for that on this statement. What it
we
was.
have done that before, but we don't know.
But it's always water department.
They've always listed it in what they put. Well, maybe I've missed it, then. That's good. We've always got to say what.
I don't.
And the guys, as far as the fleet gas card goes, the clerks are now going through here and actually putting down the amount each department is a bill receipt for. I mean,
It's
before,
still
it
flat
was-
out not giving this council what we made a motion for, voted on, and
Do
asked
you know
for.
where you read it?
Yeah, I was
Only
gonna
the
say
last
that.
one, I think.
When she-
That's it.
You want to table these until she
I
comes
say
back?
table every one of them
Until she can.
until we get her report.
We also need to see payroll statements. We've not seen those in over a year.
Yeah, we do need payroll statements.
You all, said you didn't receive them.
No, there was one or two people said that the very next month. I said we need to start seeing them again still.
Well, nobody knows.
Okay, I make a motion that we get payroll statements every month.
Wait, can we go back to financial statements and get that
Yeah, I'll make a motion
Okay,
to
make a
table
motion, we need to
all
say
the,
that.
all the financial
Every one
statements
of them.
until,
Until we get that information.
I say,
I'm making that real quick.
Just a second.
Who Who seconded?
I didn't hear you.
Okay, take a roll call vote. All in favor? Any nays? Okay. We have next meeting.
No, I'll make that when we get to the new business.
Payroll payment, it's, exactly what the VAT card goes for.
Oh, another thing, I'd like to see all the KU statements as well. Well, you all don't stay open late enough because you cut everyone's hours. If you're gonna start staying up till
Do you expect me
5,
to pay bills?
it's hard to come by here when
How
you
can
close
I-
at 3
How
o'clock.
can we pay the bills unless we cut? I'm not gonna say you're not good. I'm trying to pay the bills.
You must not pay the bills from what I've heard.
I'm not gonna say you're gonna listen to that.
There's a door. There's 5 of us
Let's move
here.
right on. Next thing on the agenda, since we're holding financial statements, is appointment of Jim Goose to Main Street. We have a member on Main Street that is not attending meetings anymore. Bobby Doctor was asking to appoint somebody. And Mr. Bush came in and volunteered after he checked and he Penny Searle on that. What exactly is that? That's what Bobby does. She's involved in this, so she gets reports on Tracy. Main Street, tell him a little bit about.
She had a question about this.
Well, I was wanting to know, like, what is that for?
The Main Street Board, I said on that, it just oversees what what she does as far as an executive director. She's a part-time director.
I mean, what kind of money can you roll into,
It's like, Main Street facade, like the streetscape, when they did the sidewalks and stuff, I believe that grant originated from the Main Street Department. God, that's all I need. Heidi fell with once too many. Anyway, but that's what she does, is she tries to get new businesses and she works on trying to get people, to fill up the empty buildings and try to get them cleaned up, and she works with property owners.
so, by saying, just a quick question. With our blind buildings and planning and zoning, if we have that, why do we need blind buildings and planning and zoning? They can work with.
We have to have that in order to have Main Street.
So is there a step on top of it?
Probably like a chicken and egg, I mean,
They're intertwined.
I'm not sure.
How
But
many
that's
members do you have?
See, that was, that,
board members. Oh, you asked me questions I do not know.
Just here in Cumberland.
I'm trying to think. I know each of the mayors has a
we've got
spot.
Mr. Shoemaker
Do you have one spot or two?
in that too.
So you have 2 board members per
That's been the second
city?
one for once in a while.
Dr. Ayers is the executive director.
No. He's chamber.
Chamber.
See, we
Main
had-
Street Chamber is different.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So
I thought he
who
was
does
on,
Bob-
I
who
thought
does
he was on
Bobby
Main
work
Street
for?
too.
Bobby works for Main Street.
Yeah, what's the Main Street?
Main Street is actually each city, am I correct in saying this? Each city pays an amount each month, or is supposed to, in order to keep your Main Street running. Your Main Street, Bobby helps to write grants for all 3 cities. She does things that I can't do because I am a Cumberland Tourist Commission, okay? I can't there's only so much I can do with Cumberland Tourist Commission money. Bobby is a Tri-City Main Street. She can work on projects, like she could write grants for Lynch and Benham when I couldn't. See what I'm saying? Or Benham, Lynch, and Cumberland. She can.
Their members paid or is it voluntary?
She has membership dues. Yeah, they get money through that. They also get money from each city. Once a month, there's an amount that they pay to keep that established. And then David Kennedy Fiscal Court has also allotted some money to keep that running because of the progress that she's made, and she does such a good job.
Well, we just hear it so much, it's trying to get them all in order in my mind.
That's
Because I hear
something
so
that,
many
yeah.
new ones.
And see, like David, a lot of people get that confused. You have 3 entities in my office. One is the tourism, totally separate from chamber. Then you have the Tri-City Chamber of Commerce, which consists of the 3 cities. They have membership dues as well. Dr. Ayers is the executive director of the
Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce, yes. And then you have Cleon Cornett, who is my chairman, and also has recently become the chairman of the Main Street Committee. It was Pee Wee Cornett. So
He serves on 2.
he does, as chairman of both. So it gets a little confusing, and it makes people think that we're all one entity because,
You're in one building.
right, and we do work on a lot of projects together, which is what's made us, I think, be successful in what we've done thus far, is because we all work together. And before, I don't think all
I
that
think
was.
that's where a lot of confusion for us comes in, is because,
And it may.
like I hear stuff new now, it's like trail towns, and we've been hearing that a little while.
Right, and we've been working on that
And you
for
had the
years.
swords, and there's another one.
Now, see, we just participate at those meetings. We have actually nothing to do with the SOAR or the Promise Zone or.
Promise Zone, that's the one I
Yeah,
was thinking.
Promise Zone.
So we don't participate in
We
that.
work with the people who are over those because we hope to get funding from the Promise Zone and SOAR, and I think some of that's coming. I can't speak about it right now, but I believe some of that will come later on. But that's what Bobby truly works with a lot. Mine is more oriented around people.
So the
than-
two members we have, who are they current?
And then she needs another proxy.
What is their, what do they do?
They are voting members.
They voting members, okay.
So if Bobby has a grant that she wants to, and she brings it before the board and she says, I can go ahead and write this, do y'all make a motion for me to go ahead? Then we'll make, but I'm a board member. The Blue Stagnolia is a member. You've got Cleon Cornett, which is the chairman. Pee Wee Cornett is a board member. You have each of the mayors.
Okay.
And I'm
See, I
trying.
didn't know that.
Who else did I miss?
I don't know.
There's more. I have 7 board members. The chamber and Main
Well, that
Street
helps
have
a lot.
more.
have to attend it.
Any of these meetings are public. And I put that on Facebook not long ago, y'all, I'll be honest, because I was getting so much negative feedback. And I said, especially about the fireworks. The fireworks
Lacey,
are
I'll tell you
open.
what you need to do. You need to start printing like little posters and putting them on the door.
We do. We sure do. That'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
And what we need to do is all 3 of our offices need to have our meeting and times, and I'll text it to you later. But we did post that and the times on Facebook because I said all of these meetings, including city council meetings, are public. They come and complain to us. Hey, we go to a council meeting or a tourism meeting, or or whatever. But you don't see that.
Trust me, everybody got real over fireworks.
And it was a sad thing because
It was.
surely we could, as a county, could have come up with enough money to do it.
Had we known ahead of time what was coming for what had always been, if we had knew what we knew then, it would have been different. Thank you, my dear. And I will text that to you all later, and I can't think of any more board members, but I think,
I text you through Facebook.
but I asked to do that when I first became director, to come and explain that what it was because you have different council members and they rotate,
That's right. That's
And
what-
our board members rotate, and so you need to know, like David thought it was together. It's totally separate, and it's all funded separate. Chamber has their checking account, Main Street has their checking account, we have our checking account. So,
I think it'll help in the future.
okay.
I just don't. It's hard to keep track of
It
it
is.
all, and there
And
seems
really
like
and
there's a new
truly,
one popping up.
we could send you a copy of who our board members are, and I'm sure Bobby and Susie wouldn't have a problem with that either.
See, the
I
way
mean,
that would help us is when people
Ask
public
us.
ask us, we
Right.
can say, look.
You
Because
need to
the
talk to so-and-so.
community thinks it's all about two community.
Well, they do, and it's because
Yeah.
we all have our offices down there. But now Susie is let me say this, Susie is the secretary for the Chamber of Commerce, but she is also the assistant director at the tourism office. So she works part-time for both jobs, which puts her there at the office all the
Most
time,
of us, the
which
way
is
we get,
confusing.
how people thought that was all the same.
Mhm.
The public thinks that
Right.
all of you are down there, and that's, that we're all one entity.
Mhm. They do.
And it gets confusing.
It really does. And so I understand, but I don't think that they would have, I feel comfortable in saying that they would send you that.
Thank you.
And I'll talk to him about it tomorrow.
Well, anyway, Mr. Jim Bush has volunteered to serve on that committee for the employees, so on Main Street, so we have a nomination for approval, motion for appointment.
Is it, it's asking, there's no pay involved in this, right? It's
No,
a
otherwise he
voluntary
couldn't
thing.
take it anyway.
Um,
He couldn't take it anyway.
But I just don't know.
No, there's no pay involved, these are strictly volunteer on this board.
I'll make a motion to. I'll say that. To approve.
I know we have to have some representatives. I
All
don't see a
those
lot
in
of
favor,
people voting.
say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Nay. She posted on your own newspaper.
Now we've got a resolution